Hey mate, how's it going?
Yeah, good, good. Yourself? Pretty
Not
big
too
day for
bad.
you guys. Pretty big day.
Yeah, yeah.
Brand
Yeah.
new album out. How you feeling?
Yeah, pretty stoked, man. Pretty stoked.
Feels like it's been a long time coming. I did a bit of back reading into what you guys have kind of been up to, and what's it? Nearly 5 years you've kind of been working on this one now. Like, how's it feel for it
Yeah,
to
so we
finally
we
be out?
finished it up in we finished it up in 2021.
Oh,
Um towards the end there, but haven't had a chance to release it or do the touring necessary to promote it because of COVID and then work and bushfires and stuff. But it's been pretty hectic. Um Super glad to get it out now. And been working on another album the whole time. So we should have another one in about 6 months.
oh, wow. Okay, I was not expecting you to say that. Wow, big follow up already. So you're telling me this whole thing, like vocals, mixing, everything was done back at the end of 2021.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. How tempting was it to just try and release it and just go, you know what, let's just put it up on Spotify, or were you like, no, we need
So
to set time aside?
I run a independent record label called Tonic Records, and I was recording Black Mountain and Old and Rain and Terror at the same time. And we kind of had to we released those at that time, and
Hmm.
because we couldn't do the big PR push or the big touring push for those bands, they were just kind of not very well received. So we held on to ours to try and save up and get some a decent amount of PR budget
Yeah.
and a decent amount of like time free so that we could actually tour it and do shows and get the word out, adequately to do a decent launch.
Because I think a lot of people forget how important it is to be able to tour for an album. I know a lot of people, when big bands tour, they go, why are they playing the new stuff? I was like, well, that's the whole point of the tour is to promote the new stuff. And it does make it hard when you're up in Canberra. I'm down in Penrith, to give you an idea. Yeah, yeah. So I know all about where you guys are. Nice and cold in the winter time there. Jesus. But and it is hard when you work, and we are Aussies. It's not like we can go touring around the country. Our country is very limited to what we can do. So I'm assuming now that you've had this album recorded for so long, you must have the songs live down pat. Like you must have rehearsed the absolute holy hell out of those.
Heaps. But
Yeah.
we've been working on like the inner ear monitoring rig and trying to get that live show real tight to kind of deliver it studio perfect for the stage. And
Yeah.
like Canberra's not as big as say Melbourne or Sydney. We don't really have too many people that have that kind of technical knowledge or that kind of touring background, sound engineering background to be able to teach us that. So we've had to kind of learn it ourselves and go with that and try to build a stage show behind it and that live audio transfer.
Yeah. And being in Canberra as well, like I know you've got one of the best music venues in the country for a small one, the Basso or the Basement, as people might remember it. But how's the metal scene up in Canberra? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've only ever been to a couple of shows up there. It's always been great, but I haven't delved too deep into the scene.
Yeah, well, I work with a group we called the Canberra Metalheads. We do a podcast. There's maybe 30 or 40 decent metal bands in
Oh,
Canberra.
wow.
Maybe might be an exaggeration, might be more like 15 or 20, but active and non-active. There's a lot of band members. The Basso is a great venue. They definitely prop up the bigger side of the metal scene, but there's also the Transit Bar,
Mm.
the Pop Belly, the ANU, the UC. There used to be other great venues like the Green Room and things like that. But Canberra's always been like a big center point. Like, do you remember Metal for the Brain?
Yeah, yeah.
The the big concert that was here, festival. You know, uh, that was an amazing thing. I remember coming down here when I was like 12 or 13 from Bateman's Bay to here just to go to Metal for the Brain every year. That was kind of like the pilgrimage.
Yeah.
So Canberra's kind of always been pretty crazy for that.
Yeah, and speaking of crazy, I know Ben from Deprivation's living there these days, and he's the craziest little guy I know. But anyway, getting back to your stuff as well, getting ready to play it live. How's it? You mentioned getting it studio perfect because you've got a lot of arrangements on this. You've got that kind of old time, almost radio announcer that's giving me the Fallout vibes, which I love. That was one of the first things that cut through the mix to me. I was like, I love that, and I like that. What is it? Go up to the window, open it up, just brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Whose idea was that? Because I just think, why hasn't this happened more? It's so unique. I just love it, and well done pulling it off.
Well, kind of, I I've heard the sample used, before, but
Mm,
not in this kind of amount.
yeah,
They do like that one, go to the window, and I heard it and I was like, oh man, that'll fit perfect in all the bits in the song. And then kind of was working with Gemma, our vocalist at the
yeah.
time, and I was kind of producing her, and it was her tryout, and that was kind of like her first go at recording with us as a band. And I was just like, go hard, man, show me different vocal styles, show me different types of voices that you have, and then we worked from there and then clocked back. It worked out amazingly.
Yeah. No, it really did. And like I said, kudos to you pulling it off because it's just, yeah, it's unreal. I absolutely love it. Getting back to it as well, because you mentioned this project and Project Ultimate Satan. How'd you come up with that name to begin with? Because it's interesting because when I thought it was Ultimate Satan, I was like, no, the full name is Project Ultimate Satan. So how'd that come around?
uh there's a few different theories that we pass around to different people, so don't trust me if I say it. But have you heard of Project Hate?
No, I haven't actually. No, no.
uh, Anyway, so a stole project from Project Hate. The band was going to be called Ultima, Satanas Ultima
Yep.
in Latin, but we were like, I don't think that will translate real well, so we kind of like flipped it and banged it together with Project Satan.
Hey,
So
it works.
yeah, kind of wanted it to be super cliche, but not, and then super brutal, but not, and kind of people can either take it one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I think
I
of
think you did a good job of doing it as well because when you read that and you look at, with all the corpse paint on, I instantly thought it was going to be black metal. That's the big thing. It's more of that blackened death metal, which was a nice surprise for me because I'm a much bigger fan of that style, even blackened deathcore to an extent, like bands like Opus Sulfur. But was that always the direction when you started it? You wanted to be like the death metal with the symphonic black metal kind of influences, or did it just evolve into that?
so I don't know if you've heard my other band, Inhuman Remnants.
Yeah, I listened to a
Um,
couple of songs earlier today.
yeah, well, pretty much Project Ultimate Satan takes off after Inhuman Remnants, right?
Mhm.
So kind of that was a death grind band.
Yeah.
We were kind of looking for a new lead guitarist, because we were having trouble getting permanent members to stay on with that, and I was trying out different things, and I ended up finding Daryl, and Daryl's a amazing pianist, and we kicked it off really well. We ended up testing him out on Nocturne Immortalis.
Mm.
I kind of gave it to him and said, "We'll see what you can write up with it, man," as a bit of a see what you can do kind of thing. And that's that intro opening piano that you hear on that track. I was blown away. I was like, I think we can do something with this, and showed it to the rest of the Remnants boys, and they were kind of like and iron on whether we should start a new band or whether it should be the same band or whatever. And I was like, we'll just call it a new band and have it as a project and kind of see how that goes. We'll do the more symphonic side. Like we didn't really want to put like core in the name or whatever. It's definitely closer to that Vale Panath,
Yeah.
Igor. Have you heard Igor?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, and those kind of things. So love it, loving that. Most of the guys in the band have all into traditional black metal, new black metal. We love all metal, man, and it kind of shows in the album. Like you can hear influences from anything if you have a dig through. Like there's Behemoth, Dimmu,
Mm,
there's Immortal, there's I don't know, Dissection. Like there's heaps of like first wave, second wave black metal bands in there. But trying to get that new modern production vibe, um, coding it myself and doing the producing for the album and producing the band was kind of like what gave us the cohesion and
yeah.
people letting me kind of like lead the way kind of thing. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. You keep going. You keep going because I was just going to butt in and just say because you've done it really well. Because there was a point where it's funny you said Demu and Behemoth. I did catch both of those, but it's not like in the same song. It's like every song has a little bit of a different flavor, a different spice mix. Let's pretend it's food. It's dinner here. You're just using different spices on the core meal, but it makes it taste different. It makes it seem different. So you did a really good job in kind of doing that, which is hard to do. But it is hard sometimes not to have everything kind of sound like it meshes together. And I think that's one of the hardest things as a songwriter. I've struggled with it in the past. I know you're the main songwriter for the band as well. So it's just one of those things you kind of grow into a bit, but you've done a fantastic job doing it. But in saying this as well, the type of music you're making, I remember when I first started in bands, you probably had this as well. You know, it's like, oh, we need to find another guitarist. You don't know who another guitarist is. Oh, I can't find a singer. I can't find a drummer. And now you're at a point where, well, we're going to have orchestral arrangements in this. Well, we need a female vocalist to do this part as well. And we need piano players and everything. It's just kind of crazy how the problems start here. And now you're all the way doing these crazy things. You'll probably go, I need an accordion player and a hurdy-gurdy player for the second album. And you'll probably find someone who loves metal who plays the hurdy-gurdy at the same time. It's just kind of bizarre. But tell me a little bit about the second album. Does it have some of the same flavors of this first, or have you gone a bit of a different way with it?
Yeah. So the in 6 months to 8 months album from now is more brutal.
Yeah.
Um, a lot more heavy. Bringing a lot of that grind element back. That's where all the samples come from. Like that grind, kind of old school gore grind,
Yeah.
grindcore kind of stuff. But the orchestral writing and our ability to be able to produce that well has like gone through the roof. It's 3 years later, and we now know actually how to compose stuff so that it sits well.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy. Like we kind of left the orchestration stuff a little bit light touch on this on the Opus Satanas. The next one's gonna be huge, mate. Like I think we've spent nearly a year getting just the orchestrations correct.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's gonna blow minds. Hopefully, I hope people blow minds on this album, mate. Like we've been hoping to get it out, and holding stuff back for so long has been super hard.
I bet. I bet. It's funny when I first put the album on today because I knew we had the interview tonight. This is my work computer. I'm sitting there doing my day job where I just talk to lovely older people about cruising, and that's blasting in the background. I don't know if they can hear it or not. And I'm sitting there listening. I'm going, oh wait a minute, this has got some stuff I actually really need to pay attention to. This is sick. So got off, finished work, listened to the whole thing through again, fell in love. It did blow my mind, and it really did. And I'm not just saying that to buddy you up. I really think it's something special that you've done here. And if you
Thanks,
think the
man.
next one is going to top that, whew, you guys are going to have a wild 2025 if that's the case.
I hope so, and thank you very much, man. I really appreciate the kudos.
No, no,
Um, as you know, if you've played in bands and stuff, takes takes a long time and a lot of effort and a lot of passion to get through these things.
yeah.
And you know, 3 years waiting to release it has been pretty hectic.
But that's a beautiful thing. If you're watching this interview, the album is out now. So you can jump on Spotify right now, or you go to the band's socials, their webpage, and you can grab a copy of the album because there's no excuse. It's out now. You can listen to exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love the album. I could talk about the album all night if I wanted to, but I've got to run myself as well. But thank you for taking time out of your day. I'm going to go now blast it in the car where I can listen to it a bit louder and not hear. I did hear the upstairs neighbors a couple of times when I was sweeping, bang that broom at the bottom of the floor. I'm like, oh, good. You can hear it too. We're sharing an album together. So that was a lot of fun. They must hate me. But is there anything
Excellent.
you wanted to say to the people before I let you go this evening?
Well, we're playing 27th, 28th in Melbourne and Adelaide. Look, we're booking a whole bunch of stuff in the new year. If you like the album, check it out. Come down over Christmas vigil. It's gonna be fun. And look forward to catching you all at a show.
Hell yeah. And I will leave those links in the comments below. So if you're looking at it right now going, I'm interested, they're already in the comments below. Mate, it's been a pleasure. You enjoy the rest of your night and congratulations on finally getting the album out. I can't wait for the second one.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, dude. Cheers.